It's hard to understand the gravity of this condition and the urgency that one needs in order to recover from such a condition when they think that limerence is the same thing as romantic love. So I want to make that distinction very clear, because in previous videos I have used the word love, romantic love, as synonyms to describe limerence, but in reality they are very different experiences. It is important to know that, because if you believe that limerence is love, then you will always lose. Love doesn't expect anything in return. I was reflecting on this phenomenon of love when I was reading Dr. Tenov's seminal work on limerence and the experience of being in love. We understand that when limerence is not returned, there is this feeling that you might get, which is being anxious, becoming frustrated, becoming even jealous, or even more obsessive, because this isn't love. Love is open, unconditional, and grounded in the reality of the other person. In limerence, we demand a response from the LO, from the limerent object. And limerent object is a perfect term to fit into our attachment to the other person, because we do not see them as separate from ourselves. We expect on some unconscious and often conscious level for them to somehow fit into the reality of the ways that we view the relationship. And still, somehow, in limerence, we avoid the reality of our relationship, where we do not see the true intimacy or the lack thereof, because we are always avoiding a very important aspect that maintains this limerence, which is rejection. We can't get close enough to the other person in reality for them to reject us, but we can't get far enough from them so that we don't feel that sense of separation anxiety that comes from not being near the LO. Let me read this quote. This was actually written almost 2,000 years ago in The Art of Love. The limerent aim of return of a feeling is an obsession that overrides all other considerations. Shy predator and willy prey, and the nature of their love is conquest. What we want from this state of affairs is not necessarily love, because love is bilateral. It's a two-way street. And that means that we, on some level, are concerned with their well-being. But when we experience limerence, all we see is the conquest for their love, for that love to be returned. We are really just searching for validation, in a sense, to have this validation that they feel the way we feel about them. This uncertainty about how they feel about us, and this hope that they might feel the same way we do, intensifies this experience of limerence. It's really our own desire that's being projected onto the limerent object. We only see ourselves. And because we project our feelings onto this other person, we cannot see an objective reality of what is happening. So much so that we filter, and when I say we, as though we are conscious of it, the lens of limerence is confirmation bias and distorted thinking. Interestingly, in this work, we see a lot of folks who have a really difficult time believing that what they are experiencing is one-sided. People will tell you that this person is, in fact, somewhat interested in them. They will give you a lot of different examples. It takes a lot of different scenarios to really confirm for the limerent person that the other person is not interested. Jean-Paul Sartre calls it a project with a contradictory ideal. He notes that each of the lovers seek the love of the other without realizing that what they want is to be loved. His conclusion is that the amorous relationship is a system of infinite reflections, a deceiving mirror game, which carries within itself its own frustrations, a kind of dupery. It's clear that projection is the main defense mechanism that we see in limerence. To be loved is the ultimate desire that is unconscious to the person experiencing limerence. There was an interesting case in here where two people were in fact mutually limerent for each other for many, many years and didn't find out till decades later. It seemed that what maintained their limerence all those years without the other person knowing was this balance, this ratio, maintained this sense of stuckness, this obsession. The hope and uncertainty ratio in limerence is the balance between feeling hopeful that your feelings are returned and uncertainty of whether they actually are. This mix creates a kind of emotional connection and tension that keeps limerence alive. Hope gives you the motivation to keep thinking about the other person and the future of the relationship. And then uncertainty, on the other hand, keeps you guessing, which then fuels the obsessive thoughts because you don't have a clear answer. If there's too much certainty, like them knowing that they're completely unavailable or uninterested, the limerence might fade. While on the other hand, if there's too much hope, like if there's clearly reciprocation, the intensity might drop because the chase or the mystery is gone. So this tension of hope and uncertainty is what keeps that emotional high. It's what keeps limerence alive and why it feels so hard to stop thinking about them. Most of the time, what people confuse with love is just obsession. And so as long as you believe that obsessing over another person is love, then you will always lose. If you guys want to learn more about limerence and you are ready to recover and experience real love, love that is returned, and love that is secure, then please check out the description where I included ways to deprogram limerence. Please subscribe for more. Catch you guys next time.